Hello and welcome from the Bahrain International Circuit here in Capure. Down on the grid, the engineers are making their last checks and today's race will be underway shortly. Alongside me today, I'm delighted to welcome back to the commentary box the 2012 GP2 champion, Davide Valsecchi. There looks to be a challenging race ahead of the drivers today, Davide. With that in mind, what are you looking out for today?
Well, Alex, I want to see how the drivers at the back of the grid are going to roll down. They'll need to make an impact in the early stages, and they're probably hoping for a bit of luck at the start. We may see some bold maneuvers out there today.
Right, well here we are then on the grid, ready for Sprint Race 2 of the weekend. Hello everyone, and welcome back. Of course, if you missed out on the video from Sprint Race 1 that went live a couple of days ago, I would highly recommend going back and checking it before we dive into this one today. Plenty of action, plenty of overtakes, as you'd expect from Capure here. And, you know, F2 cars always provide a good race, no matter where you go. Once again, though, back in the sunny desert heat. Again, similar strategy to race 1. Hard tyres all the way through to the very end. But fingers crossed, starting from P11, we're a row forward from where we were in the first race. But points. Points mean prizes, of course, in F2, and we definitely need to try and start our points tally in this one here today. So let's just dive into it then. Another 12 laps ahead of us here for the second sprint race of the weekend. 5 red lights, our teammate alongside us, and it's going to be lights out, and away we go. And again, actually responding really well there as we head down towards turn 1. Alessio Deleda doing the same there, and we actually jump our teammate Schwartzman in towards the first corner there. A lot of wheel banging just up in front of us there as both myself and Schwartzman try to have a look past David Beckman. They're 3 wide as we head through turn 2. We'll make sure we give him the room. And Schwartzman, I think, has just been hung out to dry there. So we're up 2 places off the start there, straight up into P9 of the race as we try and get all over the back of Teo Porcher. David Beckman thought about it up the inside. We've got to be careful of the AI trying to make moves back on us early on here. Because, again, like we saw in the first sprint race there, Dan Ticktum went for a send. I thought he'd back out of it. It was, we just almost into the back of Teo Porcher there. Do not want front wing damage at the start of this one. But yeah, like I was saying, Dan Tickton, we saw just the proximity arrow. Looks like he was going for a send there. Thought he might back out, but absolutely not. And pitched us into a spin, which sent us to the rear of that field. But yeah, really good start to the second race of the weekend there. I'm hoping myself and Schwartzman can try and work together here in this one as we head down in towards Sector 3 there, all over the back of already podium finisher Teo Porcher, of course, just 17 years old. And already racing in Formula 2 here. I'm sure he's looking, trying to have a good solid campaign and maybe look towards an F1 seat ready for next season. As we head out in towards the final corner of the opening lap, I'm pretty certain it's Richard Verschoor that is in the lead. Let's just wait and see and get official confirmation there. I'm still trying to learn a few of the drivers and obviously which teams they're with. Is it Verschoor that leads at the end of lap 1? No, it's Marcus Armstrong ahead there, so really good start for Marcus Armstrong, who needs a solid campaign this year to prove himself as potential F1 material down the line. But yeah, solid opening lap for us. I think it's for sure just behind him in P2 there. Guan Yu Zhou, you can see in a beautiful Alpine livery car, UNI Virtuosi, up in P6, so of course, yeah, it's very much looking like he could be a threat this year. And already we're starting to find, you know, battling the guys up inside the top 10 there. They are just that little bit more consistent and the ones towards the rear of the field, as you'd come to expect there. And it looks like Teo Porcher running pretty well early on in this race. As again, we really try and get over the curbing as we head down in towards the final corner. No DRS just yet, still only on lap 2 of the race, but already yellow flags out. Who's got issues here as we head out the final corner? I think it's Marcus Armstrong, our leader at the end of lap 1. Marcus Armstrong out of the second sprint race of the year there, and that is looking like a very expensive Mecha Chrome engine failure. So Richard Verschoor now is into the lead of the race. We are now up into the points there. It's again had a look on the inside of Porcher, but nothing happening there for us. And yeah, poor old Marcus Armstrong, no luck early on in this campaign there, and he is out of the second sprint race here in Bahrain. Always been a fan of the way these Formula 2 cars sound with the V6 engines, but all over the back now, Teo Porcher As we head in towards the final corner there, the ART goes a little bit defensive, and are we going to be able to find a move around the outside? We're just going to get caught out over the curbing. It is going to be a drag race. As we head back down the start-finish straight there, Larim Zendelli, new fastest lap of the day there, and Teo Porcher, we're going to force him a little bit towards the inside, in towards turn 1 there. Look at that wheel to wheel, just inches between us. Pretty even on the brakes. Porcher just a little bit later, but we're going to be able to maintain a bit more momentum. Who's going to back out as we head through turn 2 there? Teo Porcher just has a little bit of a lift out the throttle, doesn't get the DRS because of it, and now we're up into 7th place in the race there. Good progress early on. Now to try and close up to Delayder there is all. Teo Porcher almost creamed into the back of me at the top of the hill, but we live to fight another day. Seems like everyone's just getting a little bit more confident with the circuit during the second race of the weekend. Not quite closing up to Delayder and Guan Yu Zhou in the way I would have hoped for so far. Again, yeah, this is just the difference between battling the guys for like P13, P14, and really battling towards the sharp end here. Of course, Delayder already a podium finisher this weekend. Not too sure how I feel about that, in all honesty. I'm hoping Code is to release a bit of a patch there. Delayder is like, I think it was, it was Artem Markelov, wasn't it, back on F1 2020? It was like the OPF2 driver, and of course, if you guys watched back that series then, he was a massive championship threat until like round 7 or 8 of the campaign, and then was absolutely nowhere throughout the rest of the season. So of course, yeah, racing as Mick Schumacher, we were able to just finish that campaign in a dominant fashion there. But now we're inside the DRS of Delayder. We need to see if he can try and have a look past Guan Yu Zhou in towards turn 1. As some places, yeah, we're just really, really confident on the brakes there. For sure, now dipping down to the 41s. Oh, we go 2,000ths of a second slower as we cross the start-finish line there. But is Delayder going to be able to have a look for something? No, Guan Yu Zhou just puts the car, you know, sort of a foot and a half to the inside to make Delayder think twice about it. And the Italian, sits back for now as we behind, just apparently doing our own thing. Somehow we'll hold on to it. Teo Porcher now is going to be all over the back of us as we head up the hill. And again, not quite going to be able to make anything work as the ART. When we're not making mistakes, we are definitely got that little bit of an advantage over Alessio Delayder and Guan Yu Zhou just in front of us. But what we really need is those two just to start battling a little bit more here. Gap's almost down to that magical 1 second mark once more, but I've got no idea how the UNI Virtuosi man is just able to hang on down this front straightaway lap after lap there. For sure, new fastest lap as they're just creeping down lower and lower in those 41s. We're going to smash that out the water with a 41.5. As yeah, again, just Delayder. He just can't do anything. He needs to go for a send on Zhou in towards turn 1 at some point in this race. Mainly just for our own selfish reasons here. And fingers crossed they cost each other a load of time. Nice run out the first couple of turns though. Trading fastest laps now as well. That fills me with a bit more confidence as we break out of the DRS from Teo Porcher behind once more. And having those couple of laps just without the dirty air has really made me sort of understand a lot more what this car can do. The team's starting to just get a little bit worried about the tyres as we've got 4 laps to go of this second sprint of the weekend. But is Delayder now, as we're back in the wheel tracks here, gonna try and do anything? A 41.2. We are really getting in the rhythm now with this car. There is this time around Guan Yu Zhou goes a lot more defensive. Again, Delayder just try and gets the nose to the outside there. A bit of wheel-to-wheel contact that time. Are we going to be able to capitalise on the exit there as the HWA car, I almost forgot who Delayder drives for then, just can't quite put the power down around the outside. But again, just nothing happening at the moment. It does seem to only be down into turn 1. These two are really battling here, so we need to try and just sit behind Alessio, the Italian driver, and see if we can open up any sort of move. And that's not going to help us. Again, just sat in the dirty air, making those small mistakes, allowing those mistakes to creep in, and we're straight back out of the 1 second zone once more. Come on then, just over 2 laps to go here from the second sprint race of the weekend, and we now really need to start trying to make some progress here on Alessio Delayder, or at least force him to actually try and do something against Guan Yu Zhou. At the final corner, rolling on the power really, really nicely that time around, getting fantastic hookup and purchase from these slowly dying hard compound tyres there. Just half a tenth off my PV of the race so far there, as Delayed is aware of it. He goes defensive in towards turn 1. Very, very well timed on the brakes there, almost into the back of Guan Yu Zhou. Goes the HWA, and he will get caught out, and we will capitalise there and force him down into P7 of the race there. But he's going to try and come back at me as we head up the hill then. Not quite going to be able to make anything. No, Delayed has gone for it. A big, big send up the inside from the Italian there, as we do hook it up though once again, predicting that move, allowing him the space, but focusing on how we can capitalise on the exit of the corner there. And now it's us versus Guan Yu Zhou for P5 in this race there. We need to try and tick close to the UNI Virtuosi through the second half of the lap here. Try and get the DRS down in towards turn 1 once more there. I love the fact you still get all the flames from these cars on the downshifts there. It is absolutely brilliant. You know, you hear it in the background, you see it from the cars in front. It's just so cool, and of course nothing like we get in Formula 1 nowadays there. But as we try and sit close through the S's here, this will be make or break in this race. They're short shifting a little bit, make sure we don't get any wheel spin as we head up the hill there. And we've navigated that really rather nicely there. Rotate the car in, attack the inside curve there, really allow it to run wide on that exit curb. And Guan Yu Zhou, he is panicking here. He can see us in the rearview mirror there, and we should be able to get a much better run than Alessio Delayed has been able to there. It looks like the UNI Virtuosi is running quite a low drag setup around this track, and maybe that's taken too much out of his tyres as this race has gone on there. But Piastri, Guan Yu Zhou, side by side down towards turn 1 there, and nothing the Chinese driver can do there. And we move past the UNI Virtuosi. Easy dubs in towards turn 1 there, and now up into P5 of this race. Don't allow the back end to slide around as we head back through turn 2 and at turn 3 there. But looks like it is Lorin Zendelli just up the road ahead. Sorry, just behind even, I should say, Enzo Fittipaldi there. Not too sure. I think it's still Vachor that leads this one as well at the moment. And is it? No, Beckman's further down the order, of course. He's just outside the top 8, I think. Not 100% sure who is in P2 at the moment. I'm sure I'll remember as soon as we cross the line there. We've definitely seen their name flash up, setting fastest laps as the day has gone on, but making really good progress in this second sprint of the weekend there. Of course, started P11 in this one, but now we've proven we have got the raw speed in this car as well, which of course was still in a little bit of doubt at the end of the first sprint there. But in towards the final few corners of this second short race of the weekend. Again, it's been a high octane, high action, but a lot more mistakes from me as we try and find the limits of the car there. In towards the penultimate corner there, nowhere near the apex that time round. But into the final couple of corners, it looks like it is going to be Richard Vachor that takes home sprint race 2 of the weekend. They're a fantastic start to his F2 season as well. But at the final corner, Vachor and MP Motorsport are race winners here, and for us, it's our first point to the campaign.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So after a day of mixed fortunes up and down the field, we bring today's race to a close. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
I think this race was won thanks to the tire management. You have to remember, it's not just about going as fast as you can, it's about consistency. It's about maintaining your speed over an entire race distance. So being able to keep the lap time competitive while still respecting the tires, that's where they won today.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the MP Motorsport team, and I'm very happy to see them up there on the top step of the podium. And now, let's take a look at the driver's standings. And here's how things are shaping up in the Teams Championship. MP Motorsport move to the top of the table. And after all that excitement, I think it's time for a lie down. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you when Formula 2 returns.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the second sprint race of the weekend there, and Richard Vasseur is out on top. Things you didn't expect to see, but that's the joy of F2 there. Liam Lawson, of course, in P2 for High-Tech, ahead of Enzo Fittipaldi there. Lirim Zendelli in 4th, ahead of Oscar Piastri, Guan Yu Zhou, Alessio De Leda, and Teo Porcher round out your points finishes there. Schwartzman couldn't quite make progress I'd hoped he would. Actually ended up forming a bit of a train by the looks of it. Wasn't even able to stick to the back of David Beckman as that race went on there. But fastest lap bonus points as well means 8 solid points on the board to kickstart our tally there. You know, the first sprint race of the weekend was more of a formality than anything else for us. You know, giving the other drivers a chance, I'd like to say there. But poor old Marcus Armstrong from the very front of the field there to the very back by the end of that sprint race there. The only man not to make it to the checkered flag there. Bent Viscal made good progress, 22nd to 16th when all is said and done there. Lundgaard 19th to 15th as well. No major surprises though looking at the final results, I don't think. But yeah, let's have a look then how the overall championship standings are looking there. Vasseur is on top now, 2 points ahead of Schwartzman and Fittipaldi there, 3 points ahead of Lirim Zendelli and Alessio De Leda there, and 4 points ahead of Liam Lawson. Winner on the board now, up to 9th place, tied with Guan Yu Zhou and David Beckman there, and still only 10 cars have scored after the opening 2 rounds of the year there. Jack Aitken, the best of the no points finishers so far. Championship wise, we're now 8 points behind MP Motorsport, who have had a brilliant start to the season as well. They're 8 points behind them, 8 points ahead of Saru just behind us as well. There are just Carlin, Dams and Trident left to score after the opening 2 races. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and yeah, we'll be back very, very soon, ready for the feature race. You guys do not want to miss it. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel supporters. So a massive thank you to The Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, Ben, Aidan, Estatios, Cato, Sean, Johnny, McBlam, Mighty Spork, Tazief, William, and Nanon for becoming channel members. If you want to be featured at the end of all these videos, make sure you just click the join button down below.